First at 5, Portland's crime and homeless crisis are affecting the city's real estate market. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter. Office buildings in downtown Portland are going on the market at an alarming rate. Blair Best explains how safety concerns are partly to blame.
It's commercial office buildings like this one here on the corner of Northwest 5th and Everett, right in the middle of Old Town, that's now on the market after being purchased just 2 years ago. The tenants now leaving, saying they don't feel safe coming to and from work.
It felt like a punch in the gut.
Todd Gooding runs Scanlon Kemper Bard Companies, which invests in commercial real estate. 2 years ago, they bought the Mason Ehrman Building Annex. That's this 100,000 square foot historic building in Old Town for $25 million. Now it's back on the market after the tenants felt the area was unsafe.
They informed us that they're going to honor their lease, but they're moving out and they're not coming back.
The tenants still have 4 years left on the lease. Gooding has even offered to pay for security escorts to and from work.
We just feel let down by the city of Portland. We didn't realize that the city would ignore the public safety concerns as long as they did.
Mayor Ted Wheeler tells KGW that community safety continues to be a top priority and that he has added increased police presence in Old Town, along with investments to help the area's economy. He says in a statement, quote, "My office extends an open door policy. We hope that business owners reach out as they navigate the uncertain economy." But Gooding's staff has called them numerous times.
Nobody will pick up the phone and respond. It's been pretty disappointing.
Gooding's company owns 7 buildings in Portland. So far, this is the only one they've put on the market. But Gooding says more and more tenants are now looking to move out of downtown, home to half of all of Portland's office buildings.
And we have other tenants and other properties that are have also reported other public safety issues.
If our downtown is struggling to do well, our city is struggling to do well.
Tim Harrison is the Pacific Northwest Research Director for Jones Lang LaSalle, a global leader in real estate services. He says between the pandemic, protests, and people working from home, office spaces have emptied out. Right now, they know of 30 office buildings bigger than 10,000 square feet for sale in the urban core, and building vacancies in the urban core have increased by 80% since 2019.
It's all part of the recovery. It's taking longer than we would have liked. The downtown urban core is still extremely important to the health of our city.
As for finding new tenants, that's also proven to be a slow process. That office building in Old Town has been on the market for 120 days. The upside, Portland isn't alone. Harrison says other major cities such as San Francisco, Denver, and Phoenix are seeing an even higher percentage of empty commercial buildings hitting the market.
Portland is a pretty good average for what's happening in the country right now.
Real estate experts say the future of this city depends heavily on people returning to the workplace. And it's up to larger companies and the city itself to really take the lead on this by bringing employees back into the office if the downtown core is to fully recover from these last few years. In Northwest Portland, Blair Best, KGW News.
Portland police are asking for the FBI's help in finding out who was involved in Monday night's chaos that left dozens of businesses vandalized. Our Joe Ranieri joins us in the newsroom. And Joe, this all started during the 4th of July celebrations in downtown.
Well, Laurel, vandals tagged some businesses with graffiti and smashed some windows out. We still don't know who was involved, but video that's been posted online looks like it could have been close to 100 people on Monday night. Yesterday, many of those businesses spent the day cleaning up. The World Trade Center and Buffalo Wild Wings had several windows broken out. Crews were outside of the Target yesterday morning replacing all the shattered windows with new ones. The FBI released this statement saying, "We are aware of the incident on Monday night and we are working with our law enforcement partners and within federal guidelines to determine what, if any, specific FBI action is warranted." Portland City Commissioner Joanne Hardesty tweeted out these tweets yesterday. She said, "I'm disappointed that a small group of people continue to show up and vandalize neighborhoods around Portland. We have seen these actions occur not only last night in downtown, but recently similar destructive events have happened." She also went on to tweet this, "I am a passionate supporter of direct action, but blindly destroying and property and menacing community members changes nothing and helps no one." A spokesperson with the Portland Police Bureau did reach out to me to let me know that at least one person was arrested yesterday. They didn't go in to give any more details about the investigation. In the newsroom tonight, Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
A man accused of attacking a father and his 5-year-old daughter has now been rearrested. Police say Dylan Kesterson didn't show up to his court hearing this morning. A warrant was then issued. Officers arrested him this afternoon in downtown Portland. Police say last weekend he attacked the girl and her father on the East Bank Esplanade. He allegedly made hateful comments towards them about being of Japanese descent. Kesterson was first arrested on Saturday, but a judge released him from custody shortly after. In national news tonight, Federal Reserve officials say, quote, restrictive interest rates could be necessary to restrain the inflation crisis. That's according to new information released from their June meeting. While the officials acknowledge further hikes could weaken the economy, it may be necessary if inflation pressure persists. They say another rate hike is likely at their July meeting at the end of this month. In the pandemic, COVID community levels are rising in Portland and around Oregon. According to the CDC, all 3 metro area counties are now considered high level, along with more than 2/3 of Oregon counties. They're marked in orange, you see here on this map. As a result, wearing a mask while indoors in public and on public transportation is recommended. Community levels are based on case rates, hospital admissions, and hospital beds available. Access to Pfizer's COVID pill is expanding under a policy change today from the FDA. Now pharmacists can prescribe Paxlovid. Previously, only physicians could. The antiviral drug has been shown to curb some of the worst effects of COVID. Oregon's working to trace and vaccinate against monkeypox. The Oregon Health Authority plans to update us tomorrow on the issue. Right now, we know there are only a few confirmed cases, but health officials worry there are more out there. Galen Etlin heard from one who says, don't panic, just be careful.
HMPXV is the human version of monkeypox, a virus spread through skin-to-skin contact that can cause headache, fever, and rash. About 7,000 cases were confirmed worldwide as of Wednesday.
We don't need to be talking about where it came from because it's here and it's spreading.
Jason Davis with Lane County Public Health in the Eugene area is tracking 2 presumed cases, now waiting on lab results. Contact tracing has identified about 25 contacts for one of those cases.
Not only reach people, but make sure that we don't have collateral damage in the process.
The U.S. has about 560 confirmed cases. Oregon has 3, Washington 7, and California 111. Regionally, about 200,000 people are expected to visit Lane County in coming weeks for the Country Fair and World Athletic Championships. Davis is working to raise awareness and prevention ahead of that.
We've seen that pushback with folks who are like, not again. This is just another scare tactic by public health. We're not saying the sky is falling. In fact, I hope we're being transparent and candid about the fact that this is not as contagious as COVID, and it does take that prolonged exposure, primarily skin to skin.
Some outlets have also noted seemingly disproportionate rates of gay and bisexual men contracting HMPXV.
And that comes with its own stigma because of all of the history that has come along with HIV and other things that the community has faced. How are you approaching that challenge?
There is no such thing as a disease that is specific to a certain population. And that's the most important message, is that anybody can get this illness.
Testing has been slow. The CDC said Wednesday LabCorp will join efforts to double testing capacity nationwide to 10,000 per week. Other commercial labs may soon join too. The federal government has also ordered about 4 million doses of HMPXV vaccines. Oregon had about 300 doses as of last week.
Distributing a very precious resource at this point.
Vaccines are being held for people with known exposure and people with underlying conditions.
Those individuals who are most at risk.
Anyone with rash or lesions should see a doctor and avoid contact with others and sharing clothes.
Worldwide issue, and it's going to take everybody thinking and knowing how this is spread and how to prevent it in order for us to curb it.
Galen Etlin, KGW News.